and welcome to another Luminar Coffee Break. I'm your host, Vanelli. Now, our topic today is on how to revisiting old photos that we've taken in the past. Now, this came to me last night when I was just laying there, and something sparked one of those thoughts about when I was in New York, and I remember going to this. Well, I'll show you right here. This windmill. I went to this windmill, I think it was like 3 or 4 times during the visit, and every single day the weather was just horrible. So it was an overcast day, nothing spectacular going on, and I remember using Photoshop originally, this was a while ago, to replace the sky. And as you can tell, in between all of this and of course the trees, it was a nightmare. So it was one of those things where you decide, you know what, I'll check it out later instead of doing it now. And I forgot about it. So I decided to revisit an old image and see what life I can bring to it. All right. Now, before we begin, I want to thank you guys again for joining us. And if you could, if you like what we're doing, please hit that thumbs up and give us a positive rating. So this way it keeps the channel live. And comments below, ask as many questions as you want, and if we don't answer them during the show, we'll try to answer them afterwards. And if you have any suggestions for future ideas, please put them in and we'll add them to a future show. All right, let's get started. So the first thing I like to do is I like to explore the looks, and I know some people may think that's cheating, but it's not. These looks were created by the Fujifilm staff, along with professional photographers from all over the world. So here we are with the kind of dull look. I just went to the landscape looks, and boom, instantly it brought life to this photo. Look at this, before and after. Now, the grass is a little greener than I'd like. So think, Luminar teaches how to solve problems. It's purpose-centric. Excuse me, purpose-centric, not tool-centric. Purpose-centric, meaning I'm going to think of what the problem is and how do I want to solve it. So what I want to fix is this grass, and I know it's a color issue, so I'll use a color tool. Now, I could, which I'm going to do in the beginning, start with the greens and just lower the luminosity. Look at that. I can bring the luminosity down here, maybe desaturate it just a touch. Here's aqua. Let's see where there's aqua in the image. All right, so not too much aqua in here, but the green definitely played a role. Let's bump up the vibrancy just a little bit and tone down the saturation. All right, so before and after. Once again, before and after. So that green's a little too much for me still. So I'm going to dial it back. And I could come in here and actually change the hue of that green. We'll leave it where it was. Or -6 looks good too. All right. So we're off to a really good start. And if I look at what that look did, if I analyze what that look did, in the essentials categories, it used AI accent, which of course we knew, and color, and then landscape enhancer, where it worked with the foliage. You know what, let's check this dehaze. Dehaze isn't bad, we'll leave it at that. All right, so I have that set, I like where it's at. Let's get rid of that sky. So I'm gonna come down to the creative tools, and I'm gonna add, let's say, sky number 6. Now, once I do this, it's going to be really cool. Look at this. In between the windmill, the trees, look at that. There's no masking. Oh, let me pull it back up. I did it again. There we go. Look at that. In between the trees, there's no masking involved. And we don't get those ugly halos. What I'm going to do, something a little bit different. I don't want to relight the scene. I want to bring that down a bit. And if I click on the advanced settings, I'm going to come over here to the sky exposure. I want to make it just a little bit brighter. All right. Now, and in doing this, keep in mind, there's a couple things that happened. With the sky replacement, notice the windowsills. So this was reflective material. It came out just a little blue because it's taking on the characteristic of the sky. If I don't like that, which here I don't, I can click on Edit Mask, and with brush, I want to erase, and I'm going to come in and just erase around the windowsill and right in here. All right. Now, by zooming in the way I just did, end it. There, look at that. All right, so by zooming in the way I just did, you know what I noticed? There's a lot of noise in this image. Let's look. Yep, sure enough, it was shot with a Nikon D300 at 400 ISO. All right, so there is noise in the image. So let's get rid of that noise. Working back into the essential tools, I'm going to come to denoise. Now, the luminosity denoise is going to take care of all the grays, the gray noise that's in the image. Typically, you should do this at 100%. Let's bump it up to 200%. There we go. So that's going to take care of any of the gray noise that's in the image. And the color noise will take care of any noise excuse me, that can be found in the color. So ready? Before and after. Look at that. So once again, I'm going to bump it up a little even more. We'll go before. Here it is, and after. There it is. So look how it cleared up that noise in the areas. All right. So I like that, but you know what? I want the windmill to be a little bit sharper. So let's increase the details in the windmill. And in doing that, of course, can increase the detail throughout. But once again, look close in, with or without. Let me go a little bit closer. Here it is. Let it process. Ready? Before, after. Look at that detail that's restored. All right. 1 second. Awesome, Heather. Great job. Good. So here we are. We got all that set. Now, I like where this is heading, but you know what I'm going to do? I want to come down here to the adjustable photo filter. What I want to do now is when I saw this image, honestly, the old wooden slats or the wooden shingles on this windmill was a lot browner in my mind. So what we're going to do is this. I'm going to do a global change, and I'm going to affect the hue in the entire image. I'm really focusing strictly on this windmill. So let's add a little, right about there. Okay, right about there is good. Let's bring this back right there. Look at that. Beautiful. Now the problem is, look what it did to the entire image. So I just want the windmill. Once again, we'll click on the Edit Mask, Brush, and make sure we select Paint. I'm going to go at 100% opacity. Now, this is where, again, if you have a Wacom tablet, excuse me, in this case, I'm drawing on the Surface, the Windows Surface Pro. It gives me more precision on where I'm painting. So I'm going to come in and add the color to just the windmill. I'm going to leave the white door as is. There we go. And Notice I went over a little bit. That's fine. I'll click erase and then just come in and erase. At any point, just click on the visibility icon, and that's going to show me exactly where I'm painting or the mask. There it is. All right, and click done. All right, so if that's a little too strong, I can still come over to the photo, or I can still come over to the photo, and I can still change the, oh, I like that right there. I can still change the hue without affecting any of the other areas. So let's go up to the pull full size. So here we are again. Here's what we started with. And then using the new tools, using the AI sky replacement, adding a little bit of color, we transformed this dull image into what I remembered when I saw this. And there you have it. So that's when, again, you start to go through, excuse me, you start to go through some of your old photos and look at some of your old cameras that you used. And maybe there were some limitations back then that you could fix. I know that with the Nikon D200, there was less noise in that camera than there was with the Nikon D300. So after I did this, I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a search on all of my D300 images and see which ones I can go back through and just add new life to them. So, all right, now one other thing I want to show everyone is people have been asking, where can I find more information about all these coffee breaks we've been doing and more Skylum info? Well, if you go to skylum.com, excuse me, /academy, you can click on the getting started. Here are tutorials on getting started. Here's the traditional tutorials for beginners, intermediate, and advanced on anything from editing to being creative, or to create and to be inspired. And then here you'll find our coffee breaks will be in here. Or I'm sorry, on the podcast where coffee breaks will be. And then from the podcast, we use these, not just ourselves, but also, let's say, Michelle Grenier, a very talented Canadian sports photographer, did a really cool behind-the-scenes video that you guys can check out. And, of course, classes. Nicole Young will be teaching a class coming up on the 6th. And I'll be teaching another class up and running with Luminar 4 on the 15th. And we'll also have the past events on the bottom. And as always, if there's an issue, click on the user guide. We were doing this earlier today, plugins. If you need to know something, just type it in the search and boom, pull it up. And here's the information you can find. And a lot of times, let's go into the looks. A lot of times you'll have videos that are attached to these. Typically, those are going to be with the different tools. Oh, sorry, where was I? Let's do dramatic. Yeah, so typically, you'll have videos showing you how to use the tools inside the user guide. I mean, how cool is that? All right? So if you want more information on where to find everything that's organized, instead of searching YouTube, you can find all of it right here. So guys, again, thank you so much for joining us. And if you liked the content of the video, please give it a thumbs up. And we'll see you guys at the next Luminar Coffee Break.